Okay, so you decided you want to do a certain color, okay, whatever it happens to be. I have samples up here and you can kind of see them. This particular glaze here, this is called Honey Amber Celadon, all right? And what you'll notice is that there are a couple of different things on here. One, you've got a design on each of the different jars. There's a straight line, squiggly line, straight line, squiggly line, straight line. Okay, that design is on all of my samples that are up on the shelf above the yellow counter. Okay, when you get to it, you'll also notice that there is a line drawn here. All right, that line is going to show you where a second coat was applied to. In other words, when I glaze this, I dip it in once, okay, and then I let it dry, and then I dip it in a second time, and then I let it dry, and then when I fire it, I flip it over. What this tells you is this is what it looks like with one coat. This is what it looks like with two coats, and the line here shows you where that second coat stopped, but you'll also notice that there are drip marks that go all the way around this. You can see this one ran quite a bit. And one thing to keep in mind is if your glaze runs, whatever the glaze touches, it will stick to, okay? So that means it's gonna stick to the project, obviously, but if it runs down the side and drips off onto the shelf, all right, it'll stick to the shelf. And unfortunately, I'm most likely gonna destroy your project trying to save my kiln shelves. The kiln shelves cost about $25 to $30 a piece. Your project costs significantly less. So please make sure that you're careful with the glaze that you use. Make sure you double check to see how much is it gonna run. If it is gonna run a little bit, very simply, you just leave a little bit of a buffer down here at the bottom, not nearly as much as I have here on my sample pieces, but about 1/4 of an inch, or maybe just a slight bit more, is usually enough because when it starts to hit that bare clay area, it'll slow down quite a bit before it runs off. If it still continues to run off, there's not much you can do with it at that point. Unfortunately, glazing is a little bit of a hit or miss and that kind of thing. Most of the stuff you'll learn by trial and error, and that's why we do our first projects as pinch pots, which will be projects that you'll be much happier with stuff later on. This is one that, hey, we're just gonna have fun and try and figure things out.